Some players wore the shirt, Ron Harris wore the scars. He didn't smile for cameras, he tightened the armband. He didn't chase glory, he chased strikers. 795 appearances, more than anyone in Chelsea history. No statue, no mural, no farewell. He captained Chelsea through blood and concrete, lifted trophies, carried them through war zones they called finals. And when it ended, they let him go like a substitute. No sound, only numbers, only bruises, only silence. He didn't ask for legacy, he earned one, and the club he carried left it in the shadows. But not here, not now. Because before the names they chant, there was a man who didn't need to be loved to be legendary. Ron Harris, the one who made Chelsea steal. Subscribe if you believe the hardest legends deserve more than silence. He was born in Hackney, 13 November 1944. East London grit. Post-war smoke still in the air. No favors, no softness. Just streets that taught boys to grow fast and hit first. His brother Alan played too. But Ron was different. Quieter, harder. He didn't talk toughness, he wore it. He joined Chelsea's youth ranks as a teenager, not for fame, for fight. In 1961, he lifted the FA Youth Cup, already defending like every blade of grass owed him something. Chelsea saw it, and they didn't wait. February 1962. His debut at 17. No build-up, no fuss, just a teenager walking into war like it was home. He didn't enter football, he interrupted it. No fear, no flair, just timing, contact, and cold certainty. He wasn't graceful, he wasn't quick. But he understood the one truth that mattered. There's a difference between playing football and surviving it. And from day one, Ron Harris chose the latter. He didn't grow into the game, he sharpened into it. By 1963-64, Ron Harris wasn't just on the team sheet, he was a warning. There's a story that in one game, Harris tackled George Best so hard, Best got up, looked at him and said, "You should have been a butcher." Another. He once went through Eddie Gray like a train. No card, no complaint, just football, the chopper way. The tackles were clean, but brutal. He didn't arrive late, he arrived hard. Strikers flinched before the whistle, because they knew what was coming. And it wasn't pretty. That's when the name came. Chopper. Not a nickname, a statement. Peter Osgood once said, "Chopper didn't tackle you, he ended your afternoon." A shadow that followed forwards. He didn't chase the ball, he cut through bodies to reach it. If the ball came into the box, I'd go for it. If a leg happened to be in the way, well, so be it. Ron Harris. He wasn't dirty, he was decisive, smart, cold, ruthless when required. In 1965, he lifted his first senior trophy, the League Cup. It wasn't handed to him. He earned it the hard way. Tackle by tackle, match by match. By then, he was more than a defender. He was a presence, a shadow that followed forwards, a threat they couldn't outrun. A player they didn't just face, they feared. And through the chaos of English football in the 60s, Ron Harris never blinked. He didn't play to entertain. He played to end attacks, to control space, to win, to survive, to make one thing clear: this is my area, and you're not welcome in it. In 1966, Chelsea handed him the armband, not for speeches, but because no one embodied the fight more than Ron Harris. He didn't lead with words, he led with tackles, with presence, with expectation. Under him, Chelsea got harder, meaner, tighter. They didn't play to impress, they played to win, and Harris made sure they understood what it took. In 1967, he led them to the FA Cup final. It ended in defeat, but the tone was set. Chelsea weren't pretty. They were coming for trophies, and Harris was dragging them forward. Through mud, through pain, through anyone in the way. He wasn't just captain on match days, he was the standard in training, the reminder in every team talk, the edge behind every clearance. He asked for commitment, then proved what it looked like. And over time, that armband became more than fabric. It became a responsibility, a burden. Because Ron Harris wasn't just carrying a club, he was carrying its identity. By 1970, Ron Harris had led Chelsea to another final. This time, the one that would define them. The FA Cup versus Leeds United. A match that looked like football but felt like war. Old Trafford, April 11th. The replay. Mud thick enough to swallow boots. Tackles that belonged in a cage, bodies flying, bones rattling, and Ron Harris calm in the chaos. It was his free kick that changed the match. A sharp ball in. Osgood met it. Equalizer. Momentum shifted. In extra time, they finished it. Chelsea 2, Leeds 1, Cup winners. But that night wasn't about beauty, it was about survival. And no one embodied that more than Harris. 1 year later, he did it again. 1971. Athens. The European Cup Winners' Cup Final. Real Madrid. They drew the first match, went again 2 days later. Harris led them out with tired legs and tired lungs, but full hearts. Chelsea 2, Madrid 1, and Ron Harris became the first Chelsea captain to lift a trophy in Europe. And in between wars, he claimed the 1970 Charity Shield small silver, but earned in blood. Not with flair, with pain. Not with ease, with edge. 2 seasons, 2 wars, 2 victories carved into history. And always Ron Harris at the front. Not smiling, just holding proof. He didn't just lead, he lasted. From 1961 to 1980, Ron Harris wore the Chelsea shirt in 795 competitive matches. It's a number that hasn't been touched. Not by Terry, not by Lampard, not by Bonetti, not by anyone. 655 league games, 64 in the FA Cup, 48 in the League Cup, 28 in Europe, and 338 of them as captain. Stayed through relegation in 1975 and fought back to promotion in 1977. He didn't chase transfers, didn't angle for praise, didn't ask for permission. He just showed up. Every game, every battle, every storm. He wasn't the most talented, wasn't the most famous, but he was there, always there. A constant in an era of chaos, a record that stands untouched. Not just because no one can match it, but because no one would dare endure that long again. Ron Harris didn't break records. He built them, then kept walking straight through them. In May 1980, after 19 seasons, Ron Harris played his final game for Chelsea. No banner, no farewell, no testimonial match. From 1980 to 1984, he coached at Brentford, managed Aldershot, then faded quietly from the game to a greyhound track. Just one more kick, and then the door closed. He had given them everything, fought through promotions and relegations, lifted trophies, set records, led through blood and backlash. And still they let him walk away like a spare part. No tribute from the club, no ceremony, no statue. It wasn't a mistake, it was indifference. He joined Brentford as player coach, then managed Aldershot, quiet jobs, small crowds, no headlines. He was the John Terry before John Terry, the wall before Chelsea built one. He even left football behind for a time, working as a greyhound trainer, feeding the dogs, watching the race. As the game he gave everything to barely glanced back. Chelsea called him back not for a statue, but a title. Ambassador. A quiet nod to the man they'd forgotten. But the legacy he built? Still buried under newer names, newer eras? Because Ron Harris didn't market himself. He didn't charm journalists. He didn't ask to be remembered. And so, for too long, he wasn't. He played his last Chelsea match in 1980, but his presence never left. You can still hear it in the way defenders are measured, in the way pundits talk about hard men, in the way old strikers pause when they say his name. He was forgotten when it mattered most, but the people never forgot. And now, decades later, even the club lets him in quietly. Ron Harris, the original enforcer, the standard of steel. He wasn't violent, he was relentless, precise, unforgiving, the kind of player who made you look over your shoulder even when the ball was on the other side. Ask those who played against him, they'll tell you. He didn't need to speak. You felt him before he got there. They called him Chopper. And across the country, you heard Sunday League players shouting it every time someone went in hard, not as a joke, but as a tribute. Because he wasn't just a player, he was a symbol of toughness, of loyalty, of doing your job without needing a song sung for you. Even now, his record stands untouched. His legacy buried under medals and media hype, but still intact, still sharp. Ron Harris didn't need to sell himself. The game already knew. He never asked for glory. He asked for the shirt, and for 19 years he wore it like armor. He gave Chelsea everything. And when it ended, they gave him silence. No statue, no song, no final send-off, no thank you, no testimonial. Not when he retired. That came 12 years later, a testimonial against Celtic in 1992, long after the silence had done its work. But Ron Harris doesn't need decoration to be immortal, because legacy isn't measured in applause, it's measured in presence, in scars, in records that never fall. 795 appearances, FA Cup, League Cup, Europe, captain, anchor, enforcer. He didn't sell the dream, he defended it. He didn't chase headlines, he chased the ball and anyone in front of it. He wasn't a legend in waiting, he was already legendary, they just didn't say it loud enough. But we will. Ron Harris, the man who made Chelsea steal, the warrior who gave them an edge and never asked for a thank you. If football won't honor him, we just did. Subscribe if silence isn't how legends end.